Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Feyenoord Everywhere podcast. It's a new podcast that I'm going to do with my friend Frederick from Sweden. Just a short little introduction from myself. I am Paul. I am from Hungary. I'm a fan of Feyenoord for some time now. I started following Feyenoord in 2010, 11th season, and as we all know, that's not a very nice memory for all of us. So let's just not even go there. But yeah, so I'm following Feyenoord for a long time now. Watch almost every game, and it was my idea to start a English podcast for Feyenoord. As far as I know it's the first one ever. So there we go. And I will go over to you, Frederick.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, my name is Frederick, as Paul mentioned. I'm from Sweden. I've been a Feyenoord supporter for not as long as Paul, or I've always been a supporter, but I started following them the 12-13 season when I was about 11 years old. Um, so it all started with my father, who is from Rotterdam, so that's simply why I support Feyenoord. And I remember the first game against Den Haag, and since then I've just been a great fan, following Feyenoord all the time. So I was really happy when you, Paul, contacted me and asked if I was interested in starting this podcast. I feel like, as you said, there's no English podcast today talking about Feyenoord specifically. So I think this will be really exciting, and I hope there's people who want to hear us around the world talking English about Feyenoord to reach out to more people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my idea as well. I'm not sure how many of you are interested, but let's see. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Let's start with the first question. What's your overall feeling about the preseason, Frederick?
But the preseason, of course, it wasn't too good. Maybe it started with, I think, was it Nick first? No. We played. Sorry, I'm looking wrong. Played, of course, the
It
regular
was
friendly was
Dordrecht.
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 Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's quite easy game, of course. Didn't watch it myself. I think I worked or something. But I saw, the results were good. People on Twitter was uh, not too happy, not too angry. Just a regular game.
Yeah.
But of course, the first thing I mentioned was that we play a three back line now, which is
Yep.
very different, of course. So I think I was a bit excited about that in the beginning, but I think it was the game against Genk, right? After that,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
it was also a win, right? Like one
Yeah,
goal win
we
or
we
something.
won 3-1, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
no,
But yeah, it's a preseason. You can't
yeah,
really take everything seriously.
no,
We're not sure how good Genk was at that
no, no,
time,
no,
but
no.
yeah,
We had the same with Slot, I think was it 7-1 against Copenhagen when Slot first joined final. So
yeah. It that
yeah,
was that was also really bad. So so
yeah.
yeah, no,
And I think
of
Slot
course,
succeeded quite well.
yeah, of course. I think we can take some things from the preseason, like away against Benfica, and
Oh yeah,
also
of course.
also at home against Monaco.
Yeah,
Not as much because very some young players played there,
yeah.
but
Very young.
yeah,
But I feel like I watched the Benfica game, and it was just, of course, it's always tough to watch your team lose, but it is a preseason game. But I felt like you could almost tell by the players they were not really behind the idea of Priske to play this three-back line, and I felt, of course, I know it's preseason, but I also think this showed in the game against PSV that there's too many big areas and holes in the back line of Feyenoord right now.
yeah. I
I think
agree completely
yeah,
because yeah, against Benfica and also against PSV, it was like nobody was really nobody knew what to do when somebody on the opposition side had the ball in the midfield and they played it over to the striker. It was like open season. I mean,
it's
uh,
too much space.
yeah.
It's a new formation for the players, and it will take time to adapt. Uh, and I think the back line might be the new way of playing modern football. Might be a good idea, but you know, I've always been a fan of the classic 4-3-3 in Holland, and I think that's the best formation. It's been. I think Feyenoord's been playing the best football with a 4-3-3.
Yeah, I agree. And also much of the team is built around 4-3-3, of course, because up until now we played that system. So that's also different. So
Yeah,
maybe yeah. It just takes some time, but we can also draw some positives because I think that against PSV in the Johan Cruijffschaal, we played pretty good intensity. Like when we didn't have the ball, I thought that the players really chased it and wanted it. So that's positive.
I think that game was really positive because, as I said in the preseason games, I really felt like players' head was not on the right spot. Like it didn't feel like they believed in Piske's idea almost. I mean, you can't tell it just by seeing them on the pitch, but I just had a feeling. But as PSV, it was more of the what I like, the players fighting for the club, really showing some passion and running a lot. So I think the PSV game was really, really positive side compared to the preseason, really.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I agree, and also it's a prize that we won
Yeah,
as
of
well.
course,
So
of course.
the penalties were maybe the best part of the game
Yeah,
because all of our penalties were absolutely amazing. Like
yeah. For
and
once.
Santi played very good
Oh,
as well.
I've been nervous beforehand because he didn't end the last season very well, and
Yeah,
he didn't do too good in Copa America, or too good. He didn't do any good. I think this is really, really important for his confidence to start off the season with 2 goals, 1 assist. You could tell
yeah,
he wasn't happy to get substituted. He wanted more. He wanted that hat trick.
yeah,
So
yeah.
let's
I
hope
was
he has a good season if he stays.
also very happy with him. And also Zechiel
Oh wow!
played pretty well, I thought. Not against Benfica. Benfica was not the best game from him, but
No,
against PSV it was pretty good. So
he was amazing. He was really
yeah,
good on the ball.
yeah,
You can really tell he's a technical player who will. I want to say he's gonna go far. You can really tell by the way he's looking around, he's scanning the pitch, his first touch, and he's really smart player. So
yeah.
really excited by him.
Yeah, and I think also Pritzker mentioned that he's a real leader in
Yeah,
the dressing room, even though he's very young. I think 20, 21 years old, maybe.
I'm not even.
So
Yeah, he's 20. He's 20. Yeah,
yeah, so that's very positive as well.
yeah.
So let's
I think.
let's just
Yeah, so,
let's talk about the transfers as well.
yeah,
So. Uh, we have some time to go, like
yeah,
maybe 3 quarters of the month left.
yeah.
Not too many outgoing players from the first team. Uh,
No,
Only Wiefer, which is a
yeah.
big one.
And of course, Minte, but he was alone, of course, but he's not in the club anymore.
Yeah, right. So
So,
two changes on that front.
yeah.
Um, do you expect any others to leave?
I mean, it's been a lot of talk around Hansko, to Atletico.
Yeah,
And then, of course, there's been a lot of talk about Jimenez. Uh, and then some players are not playing, like Pedersen, Walemark, Bourgeois, things like that, who's not as important. But I think if not both, at least one of Hansko or Jimenez goes, unfortunately. Um,
yeah,
and I think we've planned for that because we bought a new center back, Jalen Mitchell, which I think is, of course, not on Hansko's level, and he's very young. Um, and then we bought a guy from Argentina, from Philadelphia, Carranza.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
I think he's not bought to just sit on the bench, and Ueda isn't bought just to sit on the bench. I think they expect Jimenez to leave, I think.
yeah,
What do you
yeah.
think about
I agree with that. And
it?
I think they also were planning to sell Hunchko, but
Yeah.
as we all know, Atletico Madrid wasn't very serious with the offers. Like
No, no. True.
two or three really low ball offers, which
Yeah,
were infuriating. I imagine
yeah,
for the Toulouse. So
yeah. No, I think what they bid like 25, 30 million, I think.
yeah,
Not even.
yeah. No, not even that. I think the first offer was 20 million, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
maybe the second was 23, the third one was
yeah.
26, and then the Kluze said, "Okay, it's enough. If you guys are not serious, we don't talk." So, yeah,
Uh, I'm really happy we have a like someone who's not happy with too less money now because I feel like Feyenoord never gets enough money for the players. They can just
right.
compare it with Ajax or PSV. But they sell Anthony for 100 million. If he was a Feyenoord player, it's 5 million. They sell
Yeah,
Kevin Bassey for I think 30 million, and he was dog shit really in Ajax.
yeah, yeah.
I think
That's right. That's right.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm happy that we're not satisfied with 20, 25 million. I think Marco is a player who should leave for at least 40 million and hopefully even more.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I agree.
he's
I
too
agree
good.
completely. And
Yeah,
I think it also takes time. So
yeah,
just think back to 2 years ago or 3 years
yeah.
ago. Nobody could even imagine a transfer above 20 million. Like
No, no,
it
no.
never happened. Yeah, it takes time before other clubs also realize that they can't be joking with us. So
Oh, you have to
yeah,
build
I
up
think.
your rumor, like what people expect. I think, as you say, it takes time, of course. You need to show that you're on a certain level, which Feyenoord is now.
Yeah.
But we have to show we're a big club, and we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hanchko and Jimenez also have very long contracts, so that's also something we can use to increase the amount
But
that we get for them.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, yeah, we will just wait and see if something happens on that front. Um,
yeah,
yeah, but also Geertruida,
yeah, of
that's
course.
that's
That's not
he
impossible.
only has 1 year left on his contract.
Yeah, that's right. And I think there's a big risk that he leaves. Um, but he really deserves it. He's been in final forever, and
Yeah,
if he can give final 20, 25 million, we would be so grateful. But, I just really hope they can keep at least Geertruida or Hansko. If we lose
yeah,
them both, we don't really have a starting center back except Trauner and Balen.
yeah,
And we
yeah.
need
I
more
think
now.
yeah, I think definitely if one of them goes, Geertruida or Hansko, we will have to buy a first team center back. So
Yeah,
so
there's
definitely,
not
yeah.
so much time. So
No, no.
I hope they start acting really soon then. And I haven't heard too many rumors about center backs.
No, no, me neither. So yeah, of
No.
course, as you already mentioned, we have Jalen Mitchell who played very well at the Copa America. We didn't see him yet in a final shirt, but
No.
hopefully that will come soon. Um, I'm really excited about him. 20,
Yeah.
not even 20 years old, 19
No,
years old.
he's 19. You know, he started every game in the Copa America. Even though he doesn't play for the biggest country, it's a very big step to start every game for your country, and you know that they believe in him, and of course he's a big prospect. I'm really excited to see him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, what about the transfers? There is not too much happening right now. Of course, we heard
Oh,
that Buonanotte is not
yeah.
coming.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, I saw that. Uh, do you know why it crashed? I didn't really understand it.
I think he didn't want to come, so it was
Oh,
him, not even Brighton, but he
really?
wasn't ready to come. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's a shame. But we don't want players who don't want to be with us, so
yeah.
maybe we dodged the
No,
bullet there.
yeah, and I think also Celtic and Southampton was interested in him, so maybe
Yeah,
that changed his mind. Um, well, I
yeah, but
mean, yeah, it
you know,
was
that's
very difficult to get him in the first place. So he's a very
yeah,
good player, also a very young
yeah,
player. So I'm
yeah.
not sure if we could buy him. He would be really
No,
expensive,
it
I
will be
think.
really expensive. Yeah, but I think that's also the thing with transfers for Feyenoord, like transfers going out and the price that we're building up a reputation right now. So I think if you're asking me, we're a better right now and bigger right now club than both Southampton and Celtic. I
Yeah.
think they have a better reputation. Uh, I think Slot started. Iska now has to catch up with and keep going and make sure that Feyenoord stays on this level. I think in 3 to 5 years we'll be considered a much bigger club out in Europe.
Yeah, I hope so. And if
Yeah,
we go on like this, then it will definitely happen. So that's
yeah,
something to look forward to,
yeah,
of course. Yeah. So um, the first game against Willem II,
yeah.
it should be an easy one, right? On paper.
Uh, we can't say that. Yeah, it should be. It's in the Cope. I haven't looked into too much how Twente has done in the preseason, but I know they played Sparta Rotterdam.
Hmm.
I think they lost that game, but yeah, preseason is preseason. Um,
Yeah.
of course, on paper they shouldn't be good enough, but you never know, of course. They
No.
have the sorry.
Yeah, and I think last season we drew two games to start with, so it's really important that we get a win against them on Saturday. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm not expecting too much from Willem II, if I'm honest. Um,
No,
but
let's hope
our
so.
defense must improve because if we play like we played against PSV and also against Benfica, then
Yeah,
even Willem II is dangerous for our defense.
yeah. I watched the game against the PSV with my friend, and I told him the game this season is gonna end up like 5-3 or 5-4. It's gonna be a lot of goals this season, but both ways. And when you play out in Europe, it's not gonna work. The VC
No,
maybe it works, but
no. But
not
I guess you could say that we have five defenders as well. So it sometimes it looks like three. A lot of times when it's a counter attack, it looked like three defenders, and that's also the reason why it's very open.
Yeah,
But sometimes it's five at the back, and
yeah,
that's just. better like that. So maybe in Europe against bigger teams,
Yeah,
we will
we
play
need five more.
five at the back. So
Yeah,
so yeah, but yeah, so difficult to see how it's going to be because
impossible.
yeah, the preseason is also preseason, so
Yeah.
not too much not too much to get
And,
from that.
it's not only the defense either. It's the midfield, and right now Seruki is our most defensive midfielder, and I'm not sure I trust him. He's not a replacement for Wiefer, for me at least. I think
No,
he's
no,
not near Wiefer's level, and if there's somewhere we need improvement, I would say it's on his position because his role is so important in a three-back line. He has to connect the back line with the midfield. He has to be almost as an extra defender when defending, and I'm not really sure I see that in him. And I know we tried Geertruida against Benfica, and it did not look good at all.
no. Yeah, I
And
agree. I agree. So yeah, of course we have Nadja, who is
yeah,
also very young and doesn't have a lot of experience
no,
in the uh, bigger leagues. So I
no,
think he comes from the third league in France. So I would not trust him either.
no,
And
but
maybe Zechiel. Zechiel is
yeah,
on
yeah,
paper a defensive midfielder.
yeah. I
Uh,
think.
so
Of course, he's very inexperienced, and I think Seruki is almost 26 years old, 27 almost, no, 25, 26 maybe. He
yeah,
should be more experienced. Let's say it like this: he doesn't look so experienced on the pitch. I think he looks a bit lost, both in possession and defensively. And
yeah,
I don't think, as I said before, on high level, I'm not sure it's going to work so well with him. Uh, he has a lot of more work to do, I think, to me at least be considered a player I can rely on. But with Nadja, he's coming from a low league, of course, but so did Wiefer, and he impressed us a lot. Not saying he's the new Wiefer, but let's hope he can do something.
yeah,
I
yeah.
really trust Sechel to do a really good season. I think he can do it. I think he's ready.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so as well. And he looked ready against PSV. Maybe one lost ball, which was dangerous, but
Yeah.
yeah, that always happens. So let's not make a bigger deal about it than we should. So yeah, but maybe we need somebody on the defensive midfield,
Yeah.
like a new transfer, because
Yeah.
yeah, maybe they thought they didn't need a replacement for Wiefer, but it looks like we do need a replacement.
Yeah. Really. But also think a big liability right now is the left back. Uh, 'Cause
Yeah,
of course Hartmann is recovering and is back, not too his comeback is not too far away. But you never know when a player's been having such a big injury like he had. You never know what player comes back. And
yeah,
Lopez is not holding the standards at all. I think
no,
he's the biggest liability in our squad almost. And
yeah,
we haven't seen anything of Smal, Gijs.
yeah.
Um, but I think he's a good player. I think he's nothing extra, but I think he's someone to trust more than I do with Lopez at least.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I also thought that Lopez really didn't look good against
oh,
PSV. Um,
yeah,
they had also somebody like Oppegard, I think,
yeah,
at PSV. That wasn't so good. So both
oh, no,
PSV is struggling with replacements.
yeah,
Um, yeah, but no, Lopez is not gonna cut it for the season. Definitely not.
no,
So I think they are trying to get Bueno from Wolverhampton.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, that will be the um, guy who to replace Lopez for now
Yeah.
until Small and Hartman gets back.
You know for how long Small is back? Is gone?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. It's definitely not as long as Hartman, but yeah, it might be some weeks left. Um, but I'm
Okay.
not too sure. I'm not too sure to be honest. Okay, so we also bought Anis Hadmoussa. What did you think about him?
I know when we signed him, I think it was while the season was still going. Um, I watched, of course, I've seen him in Vitesse. He looks like a player you expect to play in Vitesse, if I can say it like that. No, he looks good, technical. He, also, I don't get the feeling that I'm so super excited about him. Uh, but he's a really good technical player, and if he makes it work, maybe he could be some kind of replacement for Minte. Um, but I also read that he's quite a troublemaker. Like in Vitesse, he had a lot of fight with the staff and stuff. So I really hope he can behave better in Feyenoord and that he finds good form in the beginning of the season. But in the preseason, I didn't see him too much actually. I saw him against
Hmm.
Benfica, and he looks a bit vague. Like he's not taking too much initiative, and it's not impossible he can make it work. Because we paid quite a lot for him for a
Yeah,
player who hasn't shown too much. So I guess the Feyenoord team has an expectations on him. What do you
yeah,
think?
yeah. I saw him against Genk and also against Brugge,
Yeah,
or Bruges.
yeah,
And there he did show some of his qualities.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, I think it was pretty good against them.
yeah.
Yeah, against Benfica, it was nothing. So so
Oh,
uh, yeah,
I can't blame him
if
really.
yeah, but if you look at the matches against Genk and Brugge, I think he showed it much better. And yeah, as you said, very technical. Like I
Yeah.
think he's one of the most technical players at Feyenoord right now. Um, so yeah. I'm
Uh,
excited to see it, but
yeah.
yeah, he has to improve as well. So that's not a
Yeah.
question.
And he's not super young, but he's still quite young. So he of course, he has a lot of potential to get better.
Yeah,
But you
yeah,
say the game against Brugge, did they really play Brugge in the preseason?
yeah. Cercle Brugge. Um,
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh, I
yeah,
forgot that.
it was at the training ground, not in the cab,
Yeah.
but in the
Oh, okay. It
training
was not
ground.
an official game. Yeah.
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 So yeah. But we also have Wålemark. What do you think about him
Yeah.
being a Swede?
Oh, when it came to it's embarrassing almost because all Swedes who come to final these days, there's not a lot, but they never succeed. And when Wålemark came to final, I was really excited. I remember writing on Twitter that he was one of the biggest prospects in Sweden, and I was so excited. And I tried to back him all first season, but he's really not good enough. He isn't. And there's news that he's on his way to back to the Swedish top league, which I
Hmm.
think is good for him. And I think we're gonna sell him, right? I don't think it's a loan. I think we'll sell him back to Sweden. And
Yeah, yeah, I think so as well. Yeah, but against I saw him against Vitesse. It was I think half a year from his arrival in the
Yeah.
new season with Slot, the
Yeah.
championship season against Vitesse. It was pretty good, and I think that was the first time that I saw you on Twitter that you mentioned something about him that yeah, he played a good game. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I was loud at that time, but after that I had to be quiet.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
of course, now it's old news, of course, but he just looks so lost on the pitch. Like,
Right.
like it's the first time he's playing football. Like he doesn't run. I mean, he's just standing there sometimes. And I don't know. I felt like some games that season he started off on the bench very often, but he came off the bench, and I think he looked a bit dangerous. There was something happening when he had a ball, but as long as he played more than 45 minutes, I think he was almost every time really lost. Uh,
Yeah,
and he didn't look confident, and when a player isn't confident, they're not a good player anymore. So
yeah, yeah.
I think it's over
I
for him.
think so. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so
but
because he didn't. I mean, I don't like players who don't look excited, and he never looked excited to
no,
play.
no, no, really. But I read just now that he's probably leaving on loan to Swedish league.
Yeah,
So he's not leaving permanently, but I think it's probably over for him in Feyenoord.
yeah, yeah. Me too.
He got a chance in Heerenveen and he didn't impress at all.
No, no, he wasn't good there either. Yeah. But Linger, what do you think about him?
I think all Feyenoord fans like Linger really. For me, he's the kind of player you want in Feyenoord. He fights for the badge and he runs a lot. And no matter the score, if he scores a goal, he will celebrate like crazy and has a lot of passion. But he's not worth 4 million euro. He isn't. I mean, 25 years old, I think, and
Yeah,
I don't think he started more than 4 or 5 games last season. And you don't pay 4 million euro for that kind of player. It's too
no,
much.
no.
I think it was a perfect player to have on loan. If he impressed, then it's worth 4 or 5 million. But I like him,
Yeah.
I do, but not good enough to pay 4 million for. I think it's quite weird that he did it.
Yeah, I think the transfer was that he would come on loan, but we had to buy him, so it wasn't an
Okay, yeah.
option to buy,
No, okay,
but
yeah.
it was a must. So I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, then
I
it makes
agree
sense.
with what you said. I also like his passion and his
Yeah,
fighting spirit. That's
yeah,
very good to have at Feyenoord. But he looks like a player from 4 or 5 years ago, right?
yeah, really, yeah. Like the misery time with just before and after Van Bronckhorst or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, really, if he was bought to Feyenoord, say 5 years ago, I think he would be named among the players who failed in Feyenoord. Because
yeah.
everyone laughing about now. Um, so we'll see. Maybe he can score some important goals. He is kind of a super sub because no
Yeah.
matter the score, he will always run and he will be in the box. And he, he's quite dangerous when he's on the pitch. But he is not the kind of player that is usable for Feyenoord the way they play now. You
No.
say he fits Feyenoord better 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think so. Yeah, but I mean, he's a good player to have on the bench, if nothing else. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
yeah,
Also, Bushaude, he's going as well. I think
that
not
was
he didn't do really well at Boca Juniors. So
so
yeah,
nothing. I think he started a bit in the beginning, but then I think he was on the bench as well.
yeah, right,
So
right.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's how the squad looks like right now.
yeah.
Also, the goalkeeper situation is pretty interesting.
It this? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think they did talk about it like before. So I don't think it was a decision right now to play Wellenreuter. I think it was like an agreement with Bilo, but yeah, nobody is coming from it for him from abroad. So
Oh,
I think that is the situation, but because I don't think that we want two really good keepers on our squad.
folks, I know there was a discussion last season when Wellenreuter played a lot and he did really good. I think he did an interview saying that he want to be number one. And
Yeah,
if it's not at Feyenoord, then it will be somewhere else because he is too good to be on the bench, I think. Uh,
right. I agree.
he's impressed me, and I really hate to say it, but I think Balo, he hasn't been the same since all his injuries. And it's understandable, he's been injured. I think he played like 3 or 4 games and then he got problem with his foot again. So when you're away for that long time, your confidence goes down and experience goes down. And I think he's struggling a bit now. And uh, I'm not sure. I think Velenoite will start on Saturday.
Yeah, I think so as well. And
Uh,
I think we'll sell Bailo, but
yeah,
I don't know if you saw the news that Atletico Madrid came in for him and offered like 3.5 million euros or something like that, which is ridiculous. They're just
I think they
taking the
just need
piss.
us. Yeah, they just wanna. I don't know the word now, but they're just teasing us. That's what I'm looking for. Same
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Hamsko. I think they're making fun of us.
Yeah, if I can say something to Kluse, I'm not sure he's listening. Probably not. But if you are listening, Dennis, don't sell anybody to Atletico. They're just taking the
Oh,
piss.
if they pay 100 million, it's all right, but nothing else.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, but
yeah, right. So that's how it looks right now, and um, yeah, we're very excited about the first game on
yeah,
Saturday. Um, we will see what happens. We will talk about the game afterwards. So make sure you listen to that one as well. And
that's good.
if you liked this podcast, then make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can not miss any more uploads that we do. And also, if you have questions and suggestions, please put it down in the comments, and we will be happy to reply to you and also answer your questions, maybe that you have in a podcast. So make sure you do that. Do you have something to add, Frederick?
I have one really important question to you. What
Yeah.
are your predictions for the season? Where in the league do we end up, and which titles do we win if we win any?
Yeah, so how it looks now, I would say that we will be second.
Behind
That's
who?
behind the PSV. That's
All
my
right.
prediction. Um, I don't think it will be very like a lot of difference between us, but I don't think we will win the league. At least if I look at the preseason, I can't think that because, but it could also happen. So yeah, it's not like a certainty or something. But yeah, I'm not too sure we're good enough to win the league. But
Hmm.
come second is doable, definitely.
And in the Champions League, what do you think?
Yeah,
Where will it be?
I think we should aim to progress,
Yeah.
at least to the playoffs. So exactly what the system is like, but I think the first eight progresses automatically, and the rest needs to play playoff. So I think we should come in the playoff places. and yeah, it should be doable because we are also in pot 3, and yeah, our opponents are also not very good. So um, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, of course there are very good teams, but yeah, I expect us to be competitive.
I really hope so, and I agree. And I hope you could all already tell against Monaco that Priske likes to do rotation, which I think is quite weird already in preseason, but I guess he will rotate a lot in the league and the cups as well. So let's see where he wants the most results and where he plays the best players. It's going to be exciting to see.
Right, right. Yes. So thank you very much again for listening, and we hope that you will come back against after the game against Willem II. So yeah, bye everybody.
Bye. Thank you. Dag.